Okay, a small warning. I've got lots and lots of things on the show, and I'm going to show you right now. The warning is because if you don't pay attention to the show today, you're going to actually miss out a lot. And right at the end, I will be asking questions. So we'll start off with this, the Huawei P30 Pro. You're going to say, "Are again?" Well, first we showed it to you at the international launch. Then we were allowed to only show you a very small preview. But now it's totally hands-on. Plus, the most important thing we're going to do, that optical zoom, what can you do with it? And then when you actually mix it up with the hybrid digital zoom, the kind of things we've achieved, you're going to be shocked. Then, of course, the much awaited, many years, it's been something that we've been waiting for so long now, the iPad Mini 5. So the iPad Mini series has always been a favorite because it's super portable, absolutely fantastic. But did Apple make a mistake by keeping the exact same form factor? Could they not have gone with almost a zero bezel look? We have that question. We'll answer it. And then, of course, we've got this from Apple, the Apple AirPods, the next generation. What did they do different? Are they worth it now? Do they still look like wax coming out of your ears? Let's get started. This week's Cell Guru.
Huawei's latest camera phone, the P30 Pro, is now in India. We review this high-end optics phone and tell you if it is worth your 70,000 rupees. While it looks the same, a lot has changed within the new Apple iPad Mini. Who is it right for? How good is it? Find out on the show. An upgrade from the previous generation, AirPods is now the current fashion accessory. Does its sound work as good as it looks? And Xiaomi hits the Indian market with its 32-megapixel selfie phone and Redmi 7 this week.
Let's get started with, of course, all the news coming in from the world of mobiles. Xiaomi comes up with new phones. Why? No, I'm not asking the question. That's the name of their phones. And then Realme comes up with their next version.
The summer is getting hotter with too many phone launches. We will start with Xiaomi's two new smartphones. One aimed at selfie lovers and the other an all-rounder. The 32-megapixel selfie phone is the Redmi Y3, which also packs in dual camera at the back. The Redmi Y3 carries a price tag of 9,999 for 3GB plus 32GB, and for the 4GB plus 64GB version, 11,999. Xiaomi also launches the Redmi 7, which is powered by Qualcomm Snapdragon 632. It too packs in 4000 mAh battery and includes a dual camera setup with 12 megapixel and 2 megapixel sensors. The Redmi 7 is priced at 7,999 for the 2GB plus 32GB variant. The 3GB plus 32GB variant will cost 8,999. We will do an in-depth review of these two phones soon on Cell Guru. Moving on, to take on Xiaomi Redmi Note 7 Pro, Realme has unveiled the Realme 3 Pro. It's a powerful phone with Snapdragon 710 chipset and the only phone to have it under 20,000 rupees. The phone is available in two variants, 4GB of RAM and 64GB of storage, and 6GB of RAM and 128GB of storage. There is 16-megapixel camera on the rear and 5-megapixel in the front. We will review Realme Pro 3 next week on Cell Guru.
Let's start off with the Huawei P30 Pro. I'm not going to build it up. I've already said it's a very nice phone, very good looking phone, great phone, comes in with a huge amount of new things. So it's a hands-on detailed review, but our main story in this, after we've shown you everything from looks, form factor, the processor inside, the screen, everything is going to be that we'll really concentrate on the optical part of it, the camera, the zoom, the optical zoom, the hybrid. What all can you do with it that you could never do before?
Spec wars have not spared flagships. The very best of phones compete heavily with each other and push the envelope with features and innovations. And Huawei's P30 Pro does just that. A super flagship phone which is priced at 71,990 rupees, the P30 Pro seems to leave no stone unturned with its camera optics and high-end specs. But can it really zoom ahead of the competition in this space? Let's take a detailed look and find out. The Huawei P30 Pro is a true flagship beauty. It looks and feels premium all the way. The screen curves and it fits very well in the hand. We got this breathing crystal color for review and we loved the icy bluish purple on the back. The phone sports 3 lenses on the back stacked vertically and a time-of-flight sensor as well. The notch in the front is small and inconspicuous. There is a 6.47-inch OLED display. The colors are good even on the flexible OLED display, and the display is pretty premium. There is an in-display fingerprint scanner on this phone which worked very well when we tried it. It unlocks the phone very fast and it's fuss-free. With a 4200 mAh battery, the Huawei P30 Pro goes the extra mile. It lasted us more than 1.5 days of heavy use, and the phone even comes with a supercharge feature with a 40-watt charger. This can really juice up the phone in no time. Huawei claims 70% in just 30 minutes. Like the Mate 20 Pro, even the P30 Pro supports reverse wireless charging. The P30 Pro is a powerhouse with the high-end Kirin 980 chipset backing it. There are absolutely no issues in day-to-day running, and it is a breeze to use and multitask. It has GPU Turbo 3 for enhanced performance in gaming. We tried a light game on this phone, but it can definitely take heavy gaming as well. On the software front, the P30 Pro has EMUI 9.1 based on Android 9 Pie. The visual elements are nice, and it is an improved version from EMUI 9. This phone has a massive 8GB RAM, and it comes with a 256GB storage variant. There's no running out of space on this phone. This flagship by Huawei comes with a new acoustic display technology which projects sounds from the vibrations in the display to the ear. The sound is crystal clear, and the design of the phone in the front is neater because it doesn't come with any speaker grills. These are all great specifications, but it's the camera that really makes this flagship zoom way ahead. The Huawei P30 Pro comes with a massive 40-megapixel primary lens on the rear, along with an ultra-wide 20-megapixel lens and an 8-megapixel telephoto lens. There's also a time-of-flight sensor on the rear. These are all Leica lens, and the camera simply stuns. The ultra-wide shots were good, they capture a lot more. The images taken on portrait mode had some depth, and the clarity was sharp. The lens comes with an RYYB super spectrum sensor which allows for more light to hit the sensor. This results in very good color reproduction on images and also good low light shots. We also tried the dedicated night mode, and it took bright and nice shots. The colors don't look artificially enhanced, which is a good thing. We even played around with the shutter speed and got shots like this of traffic moving. The Huawei P30 Pro gives modes that utilize all the lenses it has. The Super Macro mode uses the tele lens and gives details that are impressive. But the wow factor in this camera this time is the zoom capabilities. There is a 5x optical zoom, 10x hybrid zoom, and a 50x digital zoom. The 50x zoom does the job of binoculars. We mounted the camera and zoomed into the Jawaharlal Nehru Stadium in Delhi. We even tried this with a mid-segment phone, and it didn't zoom in even 1/5 the amount that the P30 Pro did. Next, we also zoomed in on this tower to get this shot. The result was not too grainy, even though this is a digital zoom. Distant text that is otherwise not legible to the naked eye is crystal clear in this shot. This was also the result of the powerful 50x zoom. The zoom does wonders on this phone, but we hope that it is not misused for security reasons. There is an underwater mode and even a 960 FPS super slow motion feature. The front camera is 32 megapixels. The selfies were very good in daylight. They captured a lot of detail, but they looked natural. The low light or night selfies were adequately lit as well. The Cell Guru verdict? At 71,990 rupees, the Huawei P30 Pro is not a cheap phone, but neither are its competitors. The phone stands out for its camera capabilities. The shots are stunning, but the 50x zoom makes us wonder if we really need that much zoom on our phones. Having said that, the P30 Pro packs in every premium flagship feature, and it's a beauty to look at and hold. With handy features like reverse wireless charging and excellent call audio quality, it wins our hearts, and with its superior camera, it throws the gauntlet to its competition.
This, of course, is the iPad mini, and I have to tell you the story behind this is actually really simple. The first time they came out with the iPad mini, we've already, of course, put the cover, the very versatile cover on this. The first time the iPad mini came out, it was a huge hit because the portability that this afforded, how light, how amazingly well built it was, how beautifully Apple put it together was actually remarkable. Huge seller, continued to sell even now, even though the iPad mini 4 is many years old. So when the announcement, the rumors of the iPad mini 5 started to come out, the biggest rumor was that just like some of the other tablets they've taken out, this would have absolutely no border. It would be actually completely and totally edge to edge. Can you imagine? This would have almost been about 8.7 to 8.8 inches, maybe even 9 inches in the exact same form factor. And that would have been a killer. So everything else is great. This is a performance-led iPad mini 5, but could they have done something with the screen?
Just like the Minions, the Minis are cute. We have always liked to use the iPad mini, and now finally after 3 long years, there is an update to this amazing piece of tech. Dissing the rumors, the new 2019 model of the iPad mini is here in India and costs Rs 34,900 for the Wi-Fi model and Rs 45,900 for the Wi-Fi plus cellular model. We have got the 256GB Wi-Fi plus cellular variant for review. And while we have loved the compact iPad in the past, is the 2019 upgrade worth a buy? At first glance, it looks completely like its predecessor, but underneath the similar exterior, there are subtle and relevant changes. The laminated 7.9-inch Retina display with 2048 by 1536 resolution is as beautiful as before, and the viewing angles are fantastic. The new iPad supports True Tone, the display technology that automatically adjusts the screen's white balance to match the ambient light in your surrounding environment. The iPad mini 5 comes with Touch ID and has a Lightning port. However, there is no Face ID on it. We would have liked if the bezels were slightly reduced and there was Face ID on board, but keeping the same design at least saves us on the cost of buying new accessories, as the old iPad mini 4 accessories can also be used here. One of the big changes is the processor. The A12 Bionic chip with Neural Engine is a big step, as it is the same chip found in the current generation iPhones. Like the iPad Air 3, the iPad mini 5 also benefits from 3GB, making it powerful for whatever task we throw at it. With iOS 12 and the new Bionic chipset, the OS ran super smooth. We ran 2 apps side by side in split view, multitasked. Basically did a lot but no hang-ups. The other addition is the compatibility with the Apple Pencil. Not the new, the old one. So don't buy the new Pencil, folks, it won't connect. Apple Pencil is really useful for drawing, taking notes, editing photos, and even on the 7.9-inch, it does the job well. Coming to optics, only the front camera got bumped up with 7 megapixels from the 1.2 megapixels on the iPad mini 4. We tried FaceTime, and yes, it did look better. There is an 8 megapixel camera on the rear, which is the same as the predecessor. However, when we tried augmented reality apps, it gave a decent enough experience. The Cell Guru verdict. Let's be honest, there is no competition to the Mini at this size in the tablet market. It's a small wonder that doesn't boast of a big face but is the best and only one that rules its category. Those who have loved the size of the Mini before will love using the upgraded Mini 5 too.
So who is it right for? Well, if the screen had been big, I would say for everybody. But even now, this is an incredible device because the performance is absolutely fantastic, which means now you can do things you never thought you could do before. First and foremost, you can write on this. So that becomes really, really interesting. You can sketch in it. It's got the performance and it's got the chops to do it. Second, and most importantly, now for Netflix and other such things, when you're traveling and you want to watch movies, it's got everything you really need in it, including the storage. And third, for gaming, it's absolutely fantastic. But iPad mini 6, if you have thick borders, I promise you, I will take out a pledge across the world, no one will buy it. So before we move on to the AirPods and I tell you what's different, should you actually be buying it? If you own the first generation, should you be going for this one? Well, I had a very interesting conversation because I met up with the global president of Honor, and they are starting to do some really incredible things. If you want to know the future of Honor, here it is. Honor right now is in a very unique position in a very unique country, of course, here in India. Let's find out future strategy and how do they plan to keep the success that they have and make it become even bigger. So thank you so much for joining us and welcome back to India. We're starting to see a whole lot of you.
It's my honor.
It is your honor, that's right. So I have to say that the fact that we're seeing you very often in India means India is a very important market for you now?
Yes, sir. I studied Indian market from 2015. So every year I travel to India that closely to study and understand this market. So year by year that I think for Honor, it's our time to consolidate our India strategy. So now I'm very confident in the Indian market.
Okay. But you know, India is a tough market and you said you want to consolidate and grow bigger. Most people would say you have to defend your turf because the competition is baying at you. It's actually right around your heels. So how do you consolidate and grow from a position of strength you have? What's your strategy?
So that based on the few years study, we are very clearly to understand in India market, if you want to win the competition, you should be based on the innovation in quality and also the long-term commitment. The phone, it must complete the system and the complete management system. So for the design part, for the manufacture part, from the service after sales service part, and even into end-to-end life cycle, you can experience your product quality.
You have both old competition and new competition, right?
Yeah.
How do you take on Samsung in terms of the price point? On the other hand, there are companies like Xiaomi and others that were already your competition, the Oppo and Vivos that were already your competition. On one side, you have a new kind of a Samsung. On the other hand, the other competition is becoming better and better. How do you take on the competition in India?
In the past 10 years, 20 years, you'll see a lot of the phone brand. And then they come to India, they win the market share, and then they disappeared.
Right.
So a lot of these things happen. So that we study the Indian market history, we know that win the final competition, the most important is you must have the local, capability.
Okay.
Our strategy for this point of view, that we will make the Honor factory have the best quality control.
To keep the excitement in the Indian market, one of the most important things is multiple releases. You must have something happening at all times with either a new phone or something else that is coming in. Can we talk about the future? How do you plan to make the Indian market more exciting with more launches? Is there anything big coming up from your side? What can we get the entire audience out there watching excited?
Okay. So I'm really happy you gave me this opportunity to say something about the Honor future product. The first, I will bring the best camera phone to Indian market.
Okay.
So they will very soon.
Okay.
And then that will be bring the other besides the smartphone, we'll bring the laptop and the tablet, and also that the smartwatch, and the more the popular the Honor product to Indian market.
So you're saying there will be Honor laptops under
Yeah.
the brand of Honor, right?
Yeah. So,
Okay.
so now that in China,
that's big
it's
news, right?
it's in that segment. Honor the laptop already number one.
Okay. All right. So we're taking it straight to number one and nowhere else. Okay. So you heard it here first. Honor goes in for a very massive deployment of portfolio enhancements. You'll have laptops, you'll have notebooks, you'll have tablets, you'll have smartwatches, and of course you're going to have a world-class phone with camera being its main thing. You heard it here first. It'll happen in about a month. So wait for it. Thank you for talking to us. Yeah. Thank you for talking to us, and you should come in more often. We'll take a quick break right now on the Sale Guru Show. When you come back, lots more happening. Let's move on to our final story of the day. This is the Apple AirPods story. What did they do different from the previous generation? If you own the previous generation, are these worth it? And what do you do about those people that come up to you and say, "Kaan saaf karo"?
Making their way through almost to the top of the Apple ecosystem, the AirPods are now one of Apple's most recognizable products. And now it's time for Apple AirPods' 2019 edition. This is the second edition of the AirPods that has come after 2 long years. The price has been bumped up a bit to 14,900 rupees with a standard case and 18,900 rupees with a wireless charging case. But what are the improvements in these AirPods? Well, Apple has kept the upgrades pretty subtle. On the design front, it still looks pretty much the same with a silver tip at the bottom. The fit and the grip in the ear is comfortable and they don't tend to slip out once worn properly. This time, the AirPods claim 50% more talk time. And it does live up to this thanks to the new H1 chip that the AirPods now sport. The AirPods can last up to 5 hours of continuous use, and if you want to charge them, simply pop them back in the case, which will provide up to 24 hours of additional charge when charged wirelessly or through the lightning cable. Apple gives users a choice of a wireless charging case, but this comes with a steeper price tag of 18,900 rupees. The wireless charging case is Qi compatible. But coming back to what powers the AirPods, the new H1 chip. It enables great audio quality and even makes syncing the AirPods with an iPhone a quick process. We paired them with an iPhone XR and it was very fast and completely seamless. The call and music quality is crisp and very good. The AirPods are not noise cancelling and that may not be such a bad thing. One of the new features of the AirPods is its ability to activate Siri. So all you have to do is call out "Hey Siri" and it activates the assistant. You can use Siri to turn up or down the volume and change the music tracks. All in all, the new Apple AirPods have made some subtle improvements, have clear audio and are quite intuitive, while the design has remained the same. But at 14,900 rupees, they are an expensive proposition and there is a lot of competition right now in the wireless earphone segment. But if you are in an Apple ecosystem, then this is a good choice.
That then is the Cell Guru Show for the week, but lots coming up next week, including first the REALME 3 Pro. Is it as good as most people seem to think? And then that shootout that we gave you a small preview of within the story, this versus the Samsung Galaxy Buds. See you next week.